Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All Krishna Shri Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to morning Bhagavatam class. This morning we have an interesting mix-up here. So Dronacharya Prabhu is online to give class. So Drona, you there, Drona?
Yeah, he's there.
I'm a week early, but you know what? I realize it's all part of Krishna's arrangement
Yes.
because I get a chance to hear Mother Gita give class. So
Actually, it's Pariksit giving class.
oh, Pariksit Prabhu. Now I get a chance. I get back to back because I heard him give class yesterday, and I get a chance to hear him today.
Are you okay with that, Drona? You're sure? And
Oh, I'm
because
perfectly
you're-
fine with it. I'll
Okay.
listen to Pariksit give class every day if I could.
Thank you so much, Rona. But I'm so glad to see you. So this morning's class will be given by His Grace Pariksit Prabhu from ISKCON Harrisburg, and we are going to be continuing with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, verses 26 and 27. And the chapter is entitled The Punishment and Reward of Kali. I'm sorry, The Punishment and Reward of Kali. And we are in the middle of the discussion where the last leg, truthfulness, is hobbling. So let's get into the next couple of verses and see what happens. Without further delay, we'll start the class. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivadadhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivadadhari Yashodanandana Vrajadhana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajadhana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Vivadadari Yashodanandana Vrajadhana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Nitai Gora Chandra Gora Hare Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Nitai Gora Chandra Gora Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Gora Haribo Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivajikacharya Stotra Satyasri Maharaj Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivajikacharya Stotra Satyasri Maharaj Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavini Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prem Shri Kahu Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Raj Hari Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Madhpur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Swami Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulasi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhaktavinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hare Hare Go. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Nam Vishnu Jaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Swami Tinamni Namaste Krishna Varaya Prabhupada Sutapani Sri Gaura Karuna Shantanu Narayana Namaskricha Narum Chaivam Narotamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Gudirayat Nasta Prayesu Abhatresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhavatu Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, humble obeisances, glory to Srila Prabhupada. This morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class is from Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 26, and Text 27. So I will chant Text 26, and then maybe you all can follow. 26 doesn't have purport. So on 27, after I chant, you can follow the chanting, and we'll go from there. Hare Krishna. So text 26. Iyam cha bhumi bhagavata nyasito parasati Srimad Bhistat Padanyasai Savata Krita Kotuka Iyam cha bhumi bhagavata Nyasito Ruparasati Srimad Bhistat Padanyase Sarvata Krita Kotuka Iyam cha Bhumi Bhagavata Nyasito Ruparasati Srimad Bhistat Padanyase Sarvata Krita Kotuka. Word for word. Iyam, this, cha, and Bhumi, surface of the earth. Bhagavata, by the personality of Godhead. Nyasita, being performed personally as well as by others. Uru, great. Bara, burden. Sati, being so done. Srimadvi, by the all auspicious. Tat, that. Padanyase, footprints. Sarvata, all around. Krita, done. Kautuka, good fortune. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The burden of the earth was certainly diminished by the personality of Godhead and by others as well. When he was present as an incarnation, all good was performed because of his auspicious footprints. Okay, now we can do 27. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 27. Sojatya Shrukala Shadvi Drupake Vojita Sati Abramanya Nripa Vyaja Shuddha Bhukshanti Mam Iti Sojatya Shrukala Sadvi Durbhage Vojita Sati Abramanya Nripa Vyaja Shudra Bhukshanti Mam Iti Shoshatya Shrukala Sadvi Durbhage Vojita Sati Abramanya Nripa Vyaja Shudra Bhukshanti Mam Iti. Hare Krishna. You can chant now if you want.
Sochatya Srukala Sadvi Durbhaji Vojita Sati Apramanya Nripa Vyaja Sudra Bhoksyanti Shudra Bhoksyanti Mam Iti. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Please chant if you want.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
शोचति अश्रुका कलसाद्वी दुर्भागे वोजित सती अब्रमण्य नृपव्याजः शूद्र भुक्षन्ति मामिति.
Jai. Anyone else? All right, so we'll do word for word. Shochati, lamenting. Ashrukala, with tears in the eyes. Sadvi, the chaste. Durbhaga, as if the most unfortunate. Eva, like. Ujita, fallen. Sati, being so done. Abramanya, devoid of Brahminical culture. Nepavraja, posed as the ruler. Shudra, lower class. Bokshanti would enjoy. Mam, me. Iti, thus. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Now she, the chaste one, being unfortunately forsaken by the personality of Godhead, laments her future with tears in her eyes. For now she is being ruled and enjoyed by lower class men who pose as rulers. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Kshatriya, or the man who is qualified to protect the sufferers, is meant to rule the state. Untrained lower class men or men without ambition to protect the sufferers cannot be placed on the seat of an administrator. Unfortunately, in the age of Kali, the lower class men without training occupy the post of a ruler by strength of popular votes, and instead of protecting the sufferers, such men create a situation quite intolerable for everyone. Such rulers illegally gratify themselves at the cost of all comforts of the citizens, and thus the chaste Mother Earth cries to see the pitiable condition of her sons, both men and animals. That is the future of the world in the age of Kali, when irreligiosity prevails most prominently. And in the absence of a suitable king to curb irreligious tendencies, educating the people systematically in the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam would clear up the hazy atmosphere of corruption, bribery, blackmail, etc. Oma Gyanati Miranyasya, Gyana Gyana Shalakaya, Chakshu Unmulitam Dina, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantika. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaisnavam Cha. Shri Rupa Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam. Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam. Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Cha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhi Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanusite Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhivya Evacha Titanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Sivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshnaya Bhutane Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Shitarini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Guhachishe Namaha Ananda Lilamaya Vigrahaya Himabhya Divacha Vishnaraya Tasmi Mahaprema Raspadaya Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste. Hare Krishna. So text 26 is the burden of the earth was certainly diminished by the personality of Godhead and by others as well. When he was presented as an incarnation, all good was performed because of his auspicious footprints. Translation for text 27. Now she the chaste one, being unfortunately forsaken by the personality of Godhead, laments her future with tears in her eyes, for now she is being ruled and enjoyed by lower classmen who pose as rulers. Hare Krishna. So, Mother Bhumi is recounting the situation that was present earlier when Krishna was personally on the earth. Krishna is always with us. In his form as Paramatma, he's even within the atom. He's always with us. But what happens is the relation changes depending on the incarnation. The Lord definitely guides us as Paramatma. But the relationship between us and the Lord, the personal relationship, the ras, that's from the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna himself. And he was present on Mother Bhumi. Therefore, Mother Bhumi was really, really, really in bliss the whole time that the Lord was on the earth 5,000 years ago. All good was performed because of his auspicious footprints. Even the demons did not have much control because they were worried about Krishna getting rid of them. The big demon Kansa knew that it had been predicted that the eighth son of Devaki and Vasudeva will cause his death. So no matter what he did, he had that at the back of his mind. Other demons that tried to control things were killed either by Krishna himself or, for the most part, used the devotees, the Pandavas. Jarasan was gotten rid of by Bhim. In different ways, the demons were all being taken off. And every demon that is taken off the foot of the face of the earth, then Mother Bhumi is definitely in a better situation of enjoyment, in a better situation of relief, because the demon that is causing such a problem is gone. So Krishna removed so many demons. So then the burden of the earth was diminished then. And by others as well. And so by the personality of God himself, even when he was a baby, he started. Putana was gone, Chakatasura was gone, Trinavata was gone. All of those that came to try to kill Krishna, yeah, they got a short life very quickly. When they came to Krishna, that was the end of them. And as he was getting older and as he was tending to the cows, with the young cowherd boys, more and more demons were gotten rid of. As Krishna was sending them every day, just before lunch, they'd show up at Vrindavan. And Krishna will get rid of them with the cowherd boys looking on and just wondering what type of method Krishna would use to get rid of the demon. So for them, it was a spectacle. They knew that whatever happens, the demon would die. Sometimes some things in the act of fighting the demon happen in such a way that people would think, oh, Krishna's lost. So the big bird swallowed Krishna. So then Krishna has disappeared. And demigods are all in anxiety because they also get to watch. But all of a sudden, here comes Krishna. The snake demon also got all the cowherd boys inside his mouth. And Krishna came in and he closed his mouth and then he began to cause problems to them. But then Krishna came right back out. And when he came out, simultaneously, the demon died. So little by little, but one demon after another, not little by little, one demon after another was gotten rid of. And then Krishna arranged for the big Kurukshetra war. And after that war, practically all the demons were gone. So the earth is saying the burden was certainly diminished by the personality of Godhead and by his pure devotees. And that time, auspicious things happened because he himself was present. Now in text 27, she's saying, it's being said that Mother Bhumi, the chaste Mother Bhumi, being unfortunately forsaken by the personality of Godhead. So he had physically left. Srila Prabhupada explains in so many situations with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when he wraps up his pastime on one planet, he goes to another universe, to another planet. There are pastimes there, and sometimes wonderful things happen even in his absence, but it is a vipranamba, separation type. And Mother Bhumi is already missing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She's lamenting her future with tears in her eyes. What is going to happen now? Because he's being ruled by lower classmen who don't care for relating to the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to his instructions. They do not have any spiritual masters to guide them. It is very interesting that it was not very long ago, I was actually reminded of one rule here in the United States, which opens the door for more lower class men to be appointed as rulers. That rule is separation of church and state. Separation of church and state. Church is, at least, if it's not transcendental, it is on the level of goodness. They teach, the books, the holy books of the churches teach how to come to and stay in the mode of goodness. That alone will bring some peace to the earth. Some peace. For one to understand that relating well to all living entities brings peace. But church, all right, there's freedom of religion. Therefore, how did the demons go about this? Religion should not influence the state. So the politicians have now made a rule which separates the guidance that they could get from happening to them. And so we are in a situation that is lamentable. Well, Krishna is always with us. That's Paramatma. Krishna always sends his devotees. There's no time that there's no one on the earth to send people who mean well in the right direction by the proper guidance. That's always there. That is always there. If we reach out and we pray to the Lord, that connection will be made. It is always there. We have to take advantage of it. So Mother Bhumi is feeling that the Lord is gone, and now the lower class men, the demonic people, are rising up again. Srila Radhanath Swami has explained that here in the material world, that situation goes on and on and on. The demons who want to exert their influence with their own little independence that's been given, they can't do that in the spiritual world. So they do that in the material world. And when things get too crazy, the Lord comes, reestablishes religion, and guess what? It starts all over again. The demons plan again. So it is not a place where actual peace would reign too long. There's relative peace, but even that, there's always plans by the demonic people. And it is interesting that the personality of religion, Dharma, he has 3 legs cut off. Austerity, people are not doing any austerity. They are after sense gratification instead. Cleanliness, no, that's not being dealt with. Mercy, there's no mercy that's being shown. People just take from others. Thieves plunder people's things. Folks are being supplied with all kinds of things, drugs, that keep the mind in crazy situations, that they can't act right. Sometimes they don't even understand why they're doing what they're doing. And then on top of that, they get addicted to the very things that cause them to do more ignorance activities. So that is the situation now. That is the situation now. And so even those who mean well in the more goodness people, they also have to be very careful. There were times that people would go to sleep and not bother to lock their doors. Now, not only are doors locked, they are double locked, sometimes they are triple locked, and on top of all of that locking, there's also electronic devices that are put outside to monitor who does what and who came where, because they know, the people in there know that sometimes these people who are demonic would try to break into the house or the property, and with the intention of either causing harm to those who are living there or taking property that does not belong to them, stealing. So all of these have become situations where Mother Bhumi is very much lamenting the situation. It's very, 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 very bad. And it seems to be getting worse. Why? Because on the top, lower class men are ruling. And lower class men don't care for the welfare of the citizens. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, Kshatriya, the man who is qualified to protect the sufferers, is meant to rule the state. A Kshatriya is a person who is qualified with administration, the proper running of the government, and also in the military to protect people who are vulnerable. The Kshatriya's job is that. But because now lower class people have slowly but surely come up with laws that give them the advantage. People are now struggling to come up with ways, and the struggle is dealt with through the administration. You just bribe some people, because the struggle, once you make money and you have a lot of money, then you can give those who are in the administration some money along with a string attached to it. Do things, come up with laws that I like, come up with laws that would make me advance materially, and please take away those laws that would sabotage my sense gratification. How I can make money. And so it's like that. And we just call it lobbying. So there are groups that lobby. And they just, oh, you want to run for government? Sure. We will give you so much money. So now, as I saw a statistic come up, it was announced by another press on the internet, how much money is being spent. About $5 to $6 billion was spent on both sides for a person to become president of the United States. Now, where does an ordinary person get that kind of money? First, it used to be like people would be hearing closely what the person that is running a campaign for president is saying he or she is going to do. And based on that, then the conviction of the people would then cause them to support that particular campaign with contributions that would make it possible for them to run the campaign and travel all over the country and get their message out. So that's the way it was. And then there was lobbying by big business that they also should take part. They should take part in giving the contributions to the candidates who are running. They have millions and billions of dollars. So when that law was passed, then it became possible for the companies to get in and act. The companies are there for profit. Therefore, the company said, oh, I will give you so much money. This is the business that I do. Make sure that the laws are such that I'm able to operate my business without any hindrance from the government and make so much profit. As a matter of fact, give me opportunities to get contracts to the government. And this is going on and on and on. And the struggle for power goes on at an international level. And so the businesses that come up with different ways of manufacturing sophisticated weapons, they get so much contract. And it's not only in this country, although this country is the one that gives the biggest amount of money for such research on how to kill, so that the United States will stay as the most powerful country, and others are fighting. Nobody is turning around. Nobody even remembers what's called peace and how to go after that. So it is crazy. And so Srila Prabhupada is saying untrained, lower class men, men without ambition to protect the citizens, they can't be placed on the seat of administrator, but that's exactly what is happening. They occupy the post of ruler by deceiving people. And to this day, when it comes down to the few people that the country's people are supposed to make choices for by voting, everybody goes to listen to them very, very, very closely. But now it's become a shouting match between the candidates. Now it's come to the situation where everybody's pointing out the lower nature of the other person. And so what are you going to do for us? That doesn't get discussed much. How bad this person is. But people are of bad character. And they're the ones, because they are lower class men, they are not training. They're not trained. And so this is a situation that we're dealing with now. Now, Srila Prabhupada says, so the future of the world in the age of Kali, irreligiosity is going to be prominent. So if there's no suitable king to be, stay on just getting the irreligious tendencies removed, and even people who are like that, they don't get financed, and they don't get much of a say. And if there is any say, it's very little. And if people know that you have to have control over somehow being, just coming up with more ideas and being able to spread it all over the country for people to be able to hear what you have to say. And if you're a good person, then they'll vote for you. Every time, it's interesting. Let's make that one point and then talk about Sri Prabhupada's solution. Every time a lot of people run for stay in this country, staying with this country, and every time a lot of people run for the government, you see like 7 or 8 people in one party, and they all get a chance to say what they have to say. And every time you see that there's a person in the mode of goodness among them that wants to say something good for the country, and they understand what it is that the people do need. But usually those are the people that get the least financing, and those are the people that get kicked out first. And then the demons who are funded by big business, they get to stay. And by the time the people who are candidates are all weeded out and it's come down to a couple of people, we don't have a more of goodness, a trained person to run. So Srila Prabhupada says what to do. In the absence of a suitable king, we have to educate the people systematically in the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is what Srila Prabhupada said. And the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam will clear up the hazy atmosphere of corruption, bribery, and blackmail, and so on. So start with the people and let them come to know what Srimad Bhagavatam teaches. And with that, the Lord will actually guide the people in the right path, and happiness will come again. But I know that when that happens, since the votes are coming from the people to get a person in government, then it is possible, and the Lord can do any and everything. It's possible that people who are educated in Srimad Bhagavatam, and if it spreads all around the world in a very, very significant way. I know it's around the world now, but how many people are hearing? That's the point. Still, the majority of people don't know about Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we hear that more, then there will be that opportunity. The people are a certain way. And that would affect who they vote for. And that would affect the situation of people trying to change things. The people power would then be a very significant power, and it will be felt. Every time in any country, the people get up and say we want a thing different, especially since there's still freedom of speech in this country. When the people say that we want a certain way, it will have to be adhered to. Of course, the government is using manipulation, sometimes things that the people need to know was not told to them, and then people that, so it's like deceit by hiding the truth sometimes. But still, Srimad Bhagavatam would clear up all of this. Better understanding will take place, and then that atmosphere of corruption, bribery, blackmail, and the like will be removed among the people, and that would affect the government. Every time the people are good, but the government official is bad, that official will be taken up. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. King Vina was there. He was like that. After Maharaj Anga left, his son Vina was given the opportunity to rule. And he was demonic. The Brahmanas were there. They were not being allowed to do any kind of sacrifices. Nothing. But what happened? Vina was removed. He was removed. And Maharaj Prithu was replaced, and he is an incarnation of a Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shaktivesh Avatar. So when the people want it, Krishna will make sure that it happens. But how will the people be educated? Now, Krishna, in the form of word, Srimad Bhagavatam, is what's here. So that's the opportunity that we have now, and that is the only way out. Go to Krishna by spreading Krishna consciousness. And the people are chanting, but we have to increase the chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So true enough, when the Lord leaves, it becomes a challenging situation. Arjuna felt it. He was such a great warrior and trained, and a person who was very kind at heart, and also showed the example of what Krishna wanted that he would do. And Krishna used him and his 4 brothers to get rid of all the problems on the earth at that time, 5,000 years ago. When Krishna left, Arjuna was deprived of his Kshatriya powers. So ordinary cowherdsmen were able to defeat him when he was trying to protect the 16,000 wives of Krishna. So the absence of Krishna causes much aggrievement. So that's understood. The Mother Bhumi is feeling that way. And Krishna sometimes even on the earth, but leaves from one place to another. Those that were with him before he left, they would feel much aggrievement in separation. And then they feel even a strong connection with him. When will he come back? The gopis feel that way when Krishna leaves. Nanda Maharaj, Mother Yashoda, cowherd boys, cowherd men. Mother Kunti is giving us an example. Bring calamities to us, because calamities make us say, oh my God. Oh my God. You remember Krishna, even now in Kali Yuga, we still say, oh my God. Now it's been given a short for OMG. Oh my God. So there's still, see, the soul is there in the body. So the soul is connected with Krishna. We will remember Krishna, but in times of trouble. So Queen Kunti's prayers was along those lines. When trouble comes, we remember you. So we're not turned off by trouble because it's going to cause us to remember you. Queen Kunti's prayers were like that. So Bhagavatam is the proper solution to the problems in Kali Yuga. And a practitioner of this wisdom in Srimad Bhagavatam is one who will not then lament or be worried about different things or have desires, material desires. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na Shotati na Kankshati. Tamasabe tu Bhuteshu mat bhaktim lavate param. This is in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, text 54. One who is transcendentally situated like that at once realizes the supreme Brahman, the supreme personality of Godhead and his influence, and becomes fully joyful. Then a lamentation goes in the person's life because he's always thinking, Krishna is in control. Whatever happens, Krishna is in control. And I am surrendered to Krishna. So everything is about Krishna. We don't desire anything else. And there's no lamentation. And then, as Maharaj Shabbadev said, that person is like that. Look equally on every living entity. So that person is equally disposed to every living entity. And that person then begins to see the importance of serving the Lord devotionally, not wanting anything from the Lord, because you don't have to want anything. The Lord has everything. Once you surrender to the Lord, what do you need? Every need gets fulfilled in the Lord's own way. So we have to now rely on the Lord in Srimad Bhagavatam and follow what Srimad Bhagavatam says to say the Lord's incarnation. He speaks in Srimad Bhagavatam. He himself speaks in Srimad Bhagavatam. And the devotees of the Lord also direct and advise in Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Lord's pastimes are there too, to boot. So it's all the moods are literally covered in Srimad Bhagavatam. So constant hearing of it and discussion about it, that will give us the solutions in this world. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much for a wonderful class, and especially stressing the importance of hearing, reading, understanding, and learning Srimad Bhagavatam, which is none other than the Lord's personification. So that's really, really powerful. Thank you so much. We'd like to ask devotees if you have any questions, any comments, any reflections, any takeaways, clarification too. Please do unmute yourself. You can just raise your hand, unmute yourself. You can just jump right in. Or you can even you can put your question in the chat and I'll be happy to read it. I have a question, and that is, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that in this last sentence, that in the absence of the suitable king to curb irreligious tendencies, educating people systematically in the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. Can you shed some more light on Srila Prabhupada's words where he said, educating the people systematically in the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam?
First of all, it's important, you're talking about having to educate people systematically in the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. First of all, we should be thankful that Srimad Bhagavatam has been explained and given comments to by Srila Prabhupada like that. It is a wonderful book, if you have the big one, or a set of books. Now, first, just like in any situation, where would you reach the most people? Well, you have to go where people have turned their attention to try to get information from. In this electronic age, there are places where people are going, but they are just not getting anything that is really useful. We're talking about Facebook, Twitter, and all of those places that electronically information is being sent to them to keep people in that type of mode of ignorance, mode of passion type. That's being allowed. But most people are there. Therefore, we use the same arena of reaching people, but this time we bring Srimad Bhagavatam to them. There are people who are who are falling so low that even if you talk about God, they wouldn't understand. Therefore, you bring the wisdom in Srimad Bhagavatam packaged in such a way that they'll accept it. You bring arguments, that there's plenty of it in Srimad Bhagavatam, and realizations that devotees have, and get that into them chanting by the holy name, chanting the holy name by Lord Chaitanya, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra should also be introduced, all of that in such a way that people will hear. Sometimes if people don't want to hear, they can still take in the message in bite size, in small size, in small bits. When the information is given like that, and even the conscious mind doesn't want to take it, the subconscious will still take it. This is what advertisement has done. Advertisement, sometimes a billboard, people see, oh, so many things on it, so big letters on the side of the streets, and people are traveling, especially in the highway where most cars are. They put them there. And then there's some information on that billboard. I'm waiting for the day that information on the billboard will say, chant the holy name of the Lord. Chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna. And I think we should start to push for that. Chant the holy name of the Lord. Chant and be happy. Now, before the billboard stuff comes, it is also good to advertise through t-shirts. So the t-shirts, people write stuff on them too. And that's still legal. You can write whatever you want to write about the Lord. So like that. So ways in which the population can be reached. Remember, the person that is set, this is in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The conclusion is the person who is chanting the holy name and is giving their heart to Krishna, serving devotionally, they have understood the import, the whole thing about what the Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam preaches. So even if you're not able to give the information at first to those who are not ready to hear, but if you let them chant, and if you let them sing, so the Harinam is very important. We get out there and start singing in the middle of the street, and people see us happy, but we're chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, they hear. It registers. So like that, we can go out by distributing books, by also doing the systematic chanting, but I can't wait for billboards to say chant Hare Krishna. That would be wonderful. With all the cars going. So as people lobby, we should also begin to lobby, find ways to get the rules such that we can also bring the message of the Hare Krishna mantra, which is the solution to this age, present everywhere. But right now, whatever we are able to do, we should definitely do it with great attention and with great force. So yeah, we can use the social media now, but I know the advertisements work on the subconscious like anything. So maybe one day there'll be a board that would say, chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I was just imagining that. I think that would be an awesome billboard. Just simply just say chant and be happy with just the logo of the book. And I think that would really be awesome. Geez, that is really amazing. Thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely. I was just imagining watching a billboard just saying chant and be happy and just, copy paste it. Thank you so much. Thank you for the wonderful answer too. Thank you. Any other questions from devotees? Any thoughts that's coming to your mind? Any reflections? I know our book team has been tirelessly and enthusiastically, I have to say, serving at the Kipona Festival, and they've had some amazing realizations that we can't wait to hear next week and look forward to. And they have been experiencing the amazing power of sharing and educating people on finding real peace in this material world by sharing Srila Prabhupada's book. So I don't know if any of the book guys that are on the call would like to share something of their experiences that they've had 2 days, and they got one last day to go today, of how they are, sharing this mercy. Go ahead, Nitya Gopal.
Hare Krishna Mataji and Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Jai, glory to Shri Prabhu.
Jai Prabhupada, Dandavat Pranam to all devotees. Yes, Mataji, it's unlimited bliss to experience waves of the aesthetic, bliss we experience, during the book distribution. And you see all kinds of, yesterday I think I shared, we are hoping to score of 70 count, and we are 3 less, and it's all after the firework, we're winding up, everything was dark, we put down the tent, and we are putting last things, winding up, and here
Mhm.
comes one family. They said that, are you distributing the books? We want one. We
Oh,
we opened the boxes, showed them, and they bought the Bhagavad Gita. And they said, here is our card. You can come to the temple. And the later on, they said that we will not able to come. We are Muslim, but thank you anyway.
mm.
But they
So
got the Gita.
they got the Gita. And after that, another family shows up. American family. They said, hey, we told you to save 2 books. Do you have still them? Said, yes, I remember you. We had, that same books. He wanted to have the higher test and the SSR. He came and paid
Science of self-realization.
uh,
Mhm.
and he took the 3 books. So we were able to get that 70 count. Even we had everything wind down.
This is wonderful.
So like that, there's
Wonderful.
so many when our youth team was chanting in Jit Mitra Prabhu. There's so many people out of nowhere. They will come and sit in the tent and listen
With the
quietly,
devotees.
calmly. It's like, they know everything. It's like a part of congregation. So I was amazed. They don't know anything, and how come they have the attraction to the holy name, and how they are nicely coming and listening holy name. So I'm sure they have the from previous life the connection. So that's how they come, and
Yes.
yeah. So like that, there's so many ways, and the bliss is unlimited.
Mm.
Bliss
And
is
these
Wonderful.
devotees are
unlimited.
just and yet yesterday was a very hot day. It was like 95 degrees, and today it's going up to 97. And they have been tirelessly giving and sharing Shiv Prabhupada's books, and like it says, systematically teachings of Shiv Prabhupada's book. So that's really amazing.
Jai.
Yeah.
So we should be reading Bhagavatam ourselves. Live according to the instructions from Srimad Bhagavatam. If we live like that, and if we read it or hear, then we'll be able to teach Srimad Bhagavatam too. And the chanting of the holy name will come, it will flow from our mouths if we read the instructions and live according to the instructions of Srimad Bhagavatam. Chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And I will make one last point, and that is that we know that sometimes when we're chanting, the mind roams a little bit. Sometimes I think, I wish my mind won't roam, but my mind can roam. It can. Sometimes then you're chanting the holy name and it gets, I said, how do I go about making this mind be steady? Then I was looking at pictures of Lord Gauranga and Lord Nityananda. And I'm saying, okay, well, if the mind is going to roam, that roaming part, let it say Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. So then I was chanting Hare Krishna, and the mind goes, so I was trying to do Hare Krishna, and then the other mind, subconscious, doing Gauranga, 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 like that. So somehow we just find ways to steady the mind, and then but that way, then the whole body is just immersed in the holy name. Slowly but surely, The Lord will, in fact, that's like Mr. Gopal Prabhu has described what happened in the book distribution day when we set up yesterday. The Lord will, in fact, reward our efforts, but we have to take the steps. So then, by that, shouting Gauranga for the subconscious and the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for the main one, then wherever you turn, you cannot lose focus of the holy name there. This is something that I'm trying just lately. I started doing. Hare Krishna. Just wanted to share it. That's all. It's a realization I got. Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, there's one more point I
Please go
realized.
ahead, Nitya Gopal. Go ahead.
So when we follow the like radar, see how people's receptive and response, and accordingly we approach them. So we see hi, and they have like a halfway attention, like they said, just little curious but not positively. But we approach and just give the book in the hand. We can see the transformation happening in their response. Like now they kind of ready to listen. Before
Yeah.
the touching the Bhagavad Gita, they don't had much inclination. But the moment they touch, I can see that hey, they wanted to know what it is. And as we speak, they are positive and they wanted to more, and at the end of like 1 minute they are convinced, yes, I think this is something I should look into and I'm willing to take it. So just touching it, Bhagavad Gita, that transforms their mind positively.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That is the power of the book.
Yes. Yeah.
That is very much the power of the book. So you got to go out more and distribute more. Hare Krishna. Okay.
And when I was speaking with Nitya Gopal a couple of days ago, he said that this has been the best ever for a very long time.
Great.
Actually, the first day, I never see our team that much enthusiastically, out and enjoying. So, I mean, there's so many ways aspect, in this, whole, event. One is count, one is spirit of the whole team. Like they wanted to, do score collectively, spread out this message, and while doing that, they are enjoying so much joy and happiness collectively. That I saw first time in the first day. There was
That is
everyone
a
is fired up to hey, we want to do more. And then
Jai.
specifically there are two more incident happened. There was one staunch other faith people comes.
Yeah.
They they have very nice heart, but sometimes they kind of argue. But we both of them, we were able to nicely cultivate them and able to buy the book. So that gives the immense pleasure. Like this is the winning of our philosophy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. It goes to their heart and they feel like, yes, it has a value and I should buy a book and read. So these are some of the things give so much joy in the whole team and give the hopes, enthusiasm to go more and distribute. That was a wonderful realization I had on the first day.
That is amazing. And as you were speaking, Nitya Gopal Prabhu, about the enthusiasm and spreading Lord Chaitanya's movement and Srila Prabhupada's teachings, I was thinking it is no coincidence that we have Nitai Gaurachandra in the temple.
Yeah.
And the mood is just, sharing the movement and sharing the mission. And that's how and I really believe, strongly that Nitai Gaurachandra really empowered the team this weekend, to do this amazing. I mean, I can just see it. It's just so powerful. It's just very powerful because, despite the weather and the team's collective effort and support, enthusiasm, and the Mataji's cooking for all of you to make sure that you're well nutritioned
All
and
this
fed.
helps, definitely. Yeah, all this helps. Yeah.
It's like we are supporting the team in some small way. So that's really, really, really nice,
Yeah,
Prabhu.
Prasadam
Thank you.
coming on time when Nishit Prabhu showed up, he said, wow, it's like before temple Prasadam time, we have Prasadam on the side. What a
Yes.
wonderful service.
Yes, they had prasadam before we had our prasadam because we want to make sure you all are fed really well because we know it's not easy out there.
That's so
So,
wonderful. That help, that gives all this support and hope
yeah.
and like enthusiasm for us to go and do it. That's we really appreciate all this.
It's
Worked
oh,
out.
Right.
any service takes a team of collective, a team of devotees, it's just all a collective effort. If we all are on the same level, we pitch in, we give 100%, I mean, the output is like 1,000. So yeah,
Wonderful. When he was
amazing.
mentioning Mataji, it's all the mercy of Gaurnitai. I think we should have small picture of Gaurnitai all the time on the table to remember
Actually,
the
interestingly,
blessings.
you mentioned that. I was talking to Balabhadra Prabhu about this, I think about 2 years ago, 3 years
Mhm.
ago, and he said that we can have a picture of Gonitai, only Gonitai, because their mood is preaching, their mood
Yeah.
is devotee. So he
Yes,
said that
yes,
it'll be very nice if we can have a picture of Gonitai on the table at the book distribution, because they have that preaching mood.
yes.
That's,
By
yeah,
just
so that's a very good idea.
yes, yeah. By just looking at them, we would be chanting and dancing and spreading.
Absolutely, and especially if you get the picture where they are walking and dancing, where they're doing Harinam Sankirtan, it's really
Right.
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
No, because I double checked with him about 2, 3 years ago, and he confirmed that it's
Yeah. So we'll have
completely
our Nitai Gaur Chandra's picture, Mataji.
perfect. We should do that.
Yes, yeah, our Nitai Gaur Chandra's
Yeah,
picture.
yeah, yeah. And I think we have a big one, an
Uh-huh.
extra one, in the left room, so we can do that. Absolutely.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect. Great.
Thank you. Thank
Amazing.
you.
One more day, Prabhu. You guys can do it.
Right. Hare
We are
Krishna.
having fun time, Mataji.
That is great. Amazing. All by the mercy of Ninita Gaurachanda and the mercy of Shri Prabhupada, especially because when we pray to Shri Prabhupada, he makes it happen.
Right.
He makes it happen. And this is a very nice offering for the book team to Shri Prabhupada on his Vyasa Puja.
Yes, yes.
Excellent offering. Excellent
Wonderful.
first-class offering.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mataji.
And you want to thank all the devotees for joining us. If there are any last-minute questions or comments, you can jump right in. Yes. Oh, Dronacharya is clapping. Thank you, Dronacharya. You're my support, Prabhu. You and I hang out with each other. We support each other. Thank you so much. And we thank all the devotees for joining us. And we hope that we all got very inspired by, and Dear Krishna puts a post, Hare Krishna, wonderful and inspiring seva by book distribution team. Amazing. Oh, Prabhu, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. And we thank all of you for joining us. And we hope that we all get the fire of sharing Srila Prabhupada's teachings with everyone and educating the people systematically, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned in this purport. And just a quick announcement, tomorrow morning's class will be by Chandramali Swami at 7 o'clock. So there has been a change this week. So Maharaj will give class tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. on Chaitanya Charitamrita. Until then, we thank you all for joining us. Vanchakraptibhyascha, Kripasatanevcha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki
Ki
jai.
Jai.
Have a wonderful day, devotees. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Jai. Worship Prabhupada.